Hello and welcome to Study History with Mr. P. In this short video I'm going to look at the Derek Bentley case of 1952. This ties in nicely with a previous video of mine where we look at punishments in the 20th century and where I mentioned about the abolition of the death penalty and the example of how controversial executions were a key factor or turning point leading to the end of the death penalty. So let's focus then on this issue. So Derek Bentley went to trial in December 1952. The victim in the case was a police officer who was shot during an attempted burglary called Sidney Miles. So who was accused? Well, Derek Bentley, an 18-year-old who was there when the murder took place but did not fire the gun and had a mental age of 10. His co-accused was a man or boy named Christopher Craig, who was 16-year-old at the time, who fired the gun that killed the policeman. Now, the case for the prosecution said, well, Craig fired the gun and that Derek Bentley had shouted, "Let him have it," which makes him jointly responsible for the murder as he had encouraged Craig. Bentley had a history of criminality. He'd been in youth detention, but was also of very low-level intelligence and although he was not insane, but was unaware of, and was aware, according to the prosecution, of his actions, and was therefore responsible for them. The case for the defence, though, said that "let him have it" could mean let the policeman have the gun, and there are certainly question marks about whether he'd really actually said it. Bentley himself did not have a weapon and had handed himself over to the police, and he did have a learning disability and a mental age of 10. So there are conflicting views in the case. The prosecution said, well, he may have had low-level intelligence, but he wasn't insane, and he was aware of what he was doing, whereas the case for the defence said, well, actually, with a mental age of 10, how could he have had? Now, the jury found Craig and Bentley guilty and recommended mercy, though, for Derek Bentley. But the judge's sentence said that Craig, the person who'd fired the gun, could not be hanged because he was under 18, so he was sentenced to a long prison term, but that Bentley was guilty of murder under the joint enterprise law and was sentenced to death by hanging. Now, many people disagreed with this sentence. 5,000 protesters were outside Wandsworth Prison on the night of the execution, and 200 MPs supported a parliamentary motion calling for Bentley's reprieve, but the sentence was carried out before they had debated it. Following this, in 1957, significant changes were made to the law regarding murder. The Homicide Act came to make allowances for defendants suffering from diminished responsibility or who had been abused by the person they'd murdered. And Bentley's family went and used the media to promote the case, which became widely known. Bentley was posthumously pardoned in 1993 and his conviction was quashed in 1998.